Hello, my name is Kern, and welcome to another episode of Is This Homebrewed Jank Good? You decide. So in today's episode, we have an Izzet Flash Aggro Tempo? What is going on with this deck? It is so schizophrenic. Also with the flying sub-theme? Okay, anyway, it's weird. It's weird, y'all. So let me explain what we're trying to do here. And important to this explanation is an understanding of what tempo is. So if you're not familiar, tempo is just basically the idea that you're going to try to win the game by controlling the pace of the game. Either by winning by card advantage, by going really fast at your opponent, or most often by controlling the spells that they play so that they don't get the cards that they want at specific times. So you most often do that with counterspells. Now, Tempo is an archetype that was very, very powerful pre-rotation. Mono Blue Tempo was everywhere, and it took the Mythic Championship. This deck, I think, might be the new Tempo in Izzet. It actually kind of works. And the only cards that we play that are similar to Mono Blue Tempo pre-rotation are Quench and Essence Capture. Everything else that was really good in Mono Blue Tempo rotated out. So we don't have the advantage of that. But we've gotten some new cards that I think actually make this, like, pretty similar in terms of viability of strategy. And I am just, like, over the moon with this little experience that I've had discovering this, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So to take a look at how we're going to be doing this, we have to take a look at Mischievous Chimera. Excuse me while I giggle my butt off here, but I just talked about how strong Mono Blue is, and then I'm talking about how this deck is an equivalent, and then I pull up Mischievous Chimera, which is like, what the hell is going on? This deck, don't get me wrong, or this card is good in draft. It's very good in draft. If you're playing around Izzet already, it's quite good. It's 2 mana, 2/2 with flying that has this funny ability that says whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, you get to hit them in the face for 1, and you get to scry 1. This card, like the deck itself, is very schizophrenic, and I actually just realized this. That's what a Chimera is. It is a combination of a bunch of different types of creatures. So holy crap, good job on your theming, Wizards of the Coast. That's amazing. Anyway, so it doesn't really fit into an aggro deck. If you're trying to play this aggro, it is a 2 mana 2/2 with flying, but we'd rather play Lightning Stormkin, right? Which has haste. If you're trying to play Flash, cool, we get this fun ability on our opponent's turn whenever we cast a spell, but only for the first spell we play. So cards like Brineborn Cutthroat are better, because if we cast multiple spells, we get multiple counters. And then it has this funny scry effect as well that we only get once per turn. It seems like it's trying to do too many things to really fit into a tier 1 or even tier 2 standard deck. But if your deck is centered around all of those themes, aggro, flash, and tempo, it's actually kind of good, is what I'm realizing. So how do we do this, what we want to do in our deck? Well, we have a lot of control. We have 3 Quench, 3 Essence Capture, 3 Brazen Borrower, 3 Ionize, and 4 Shock. That is a lot of control. Some of these cards are just straight up control. That's all they can be used for. But then some of them have dual purpose, like Brazen Borrower, which plays into our flash theme. It plays into our flying sub-theme. It's also decent aggro, since it basically has haste, and it's a 3/1 for 3, which is pretty good. And also Shock, of course, can go at somebody's face instead of hitting a creature that they control. So these cards are also dual purpose, which makes them quite good. We have 3 Samut Sprint in order to help us close out games, give creatures like Mischievous Chimera haste who don't have it already, and then also maybe it's just a way to scry on our opponent's turn, do some triggers, find the cards we need to keep moving, keep chugging along. We have 4 Spectral Sailor, plays into our flash theme, plays into our flying sub-theme. It's a small creature that can ping our opponent slowly in the face for 1, which, if we remember, Mono Blue Siren Storm Tamer, actually did damage throughout the courses of games. It was actually a card that helped them to gain tempo. But also, importantly, we can pay 4 mana to draw a card. So if we are holding up mana on our opponent's turn for counterspells, which we often want to do, if they don't play anything worth counterspelling, it's nice to be able to use our mana for something else. And Spectral Sailor is a good mana dump. We also have 4 Chemister's Insight as another mana dump that's obviously better than using our Spectral Sailor ability. But yeah, it's just insurance. There's a lot of card draw. A funny thing about Mischievous Chimera I should mention is, one of our big things that we're lacking in a tempo kind of deck is a card like Curious Obsession, which, if you're not familiar with that card, maybe I'll just pull it up real quick here so we can take a look at it together. It's an enchantment that reads, creature gets +1/+1, but most importantly, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So basically, you put it on a flying creature, you hit them in the face, you draw a card, and that can be quite good over the course of the game. Mischievous Chimera actually kind of substitutes that effect in a really big way. You don't get the card draw, but almost as important, you get to scry. So if it's not the card that you need, you can bottom it and wait until you get a card that you do need, which is pretty good. It is pretty good. So let's hop into some games. And fair warning here, you're going to see the time behind me go by very quickly. I played a bunch of games last night, recorded a few of them, made a video, and the intro that I did to the deck didn't explain it very well, so I did a retake. So we're about to go to a different time of day. Let's check those games out. Of the way. Mischievous Chimera, Quench, Ionize, Samut Sprint, Chemister. This is pretty good. It's pretty good. I am going to be a little monka-s about playing Mischievous Chimera over Quench. We'll see what colors they are. If this is Esper Control, Mischievous Chimera is great. If it's like an Orzhov deck, I would rather hold up Quench to hit their Knight of the Ebon Legion. But if I don't ever play spells, it's just that Quench, you know, reduces in value the longer the game goes on. This is literally my only creature in hand, too. Let's play it out. I can always, like, try to... well, I can't really shock the Ebon Legion. Brazen Borrower, I guess I could bounce it. Uh-oh, another white is not a good sign of Esper Control. Okay, this is Knights, or something like it. So that's not a big deal. This is on cast, unfortunately, so it doesn't have to resolve for them to get a Knight token, but these are all going to be on the ground, which we don't care too much about that. I am going to hold up mana, though, for a Quench. I would have loved to have seen a land drop there, or a land, because we have 2 Ionize. Alright, yeah, we're going to counter that. There we go. It's not blue, but yeah, we can't Essence Capture, but it's okay. We have two other counter spells until we need to find another blue. It'd be nice to find another land. Hopefully we can scry to one with this Mischievous Chimera. So this card is actually, like, kind of good, you know? Like, surprisingly. More so than I thought, to be honest. Nope, that's not a land. We need a... I would love a blue. Doing pretty good so far. We have one more Ionize, which is going to be a total of 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. Oh, there's a land. So do I shock in for it? I mean, I'm already winning the race, and then this allows me to Essence Capture if I really want to, but more importantly, Chemister's Insight if they don't play in. If they don't play into my counterspell. So yeah, I don't think we're in too much danger here by shocking in. See if they have removal. They're hovering. Yeah, I think we do this just to make sure that our clock will go faster than theirs. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to keep that on top, because that could help us finish out. Actually, is that lethal? I think I'm 1 point off of lethal. If I counterspell something on their turn, I'm going to be 1 land short of lethal then, because I can't Essence Capture. Yeah, I need another blue, which I don't have, obviously. Okay, they're going to gain 2 life. Or 1 life. Alright. Well, here's the other problem. If I play Lightning Stormkin, I no longer have Essence Capture. But if I don't play it, they're getting in for 5, I'm down to 3, and they're only at 6. 5 if they play a spell. And the next turn, I'm swinging in for another 5, as long as they can't gain life. So, and if they don't play something worth counterspelling, I Chemister's Insight. This is really, I don't have any general counterspells, just a creature-based one, so if they have a pump, then we're dead. But let's try it. Actually, I think we have lethal even without Essence Capture pinging them and adding a counter. So maybe I should Chemister's Insight no matter what they do. So this is only on a creature... Oh, it enters the battlefield under your control. Each opponent loses 1 life. So they... Oh, this is just hurts me for 1. So then I would be... Sorry, I have to catch up here. So I'd be down to 2 if they replay this other night. Which I'm okay with. Yeah, they don't gain life off that. That's the important part. See if they have that pump, though. Ah, they get lifelink. Shit. Oh, I had Essence Capture. I am such an idiot. I just blew it. I just freaking blew it. I had the win, but I did not play the Essence Capture. That's exactly why I held it up. Okay, wait, does that save me? That might save me here. Wow, okay. And I have another Summon Sprint. So I have to play this. Either way, it's 2 damage. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. I still win. I almost threw the... I mean, I did throw that. I shouldn't win here. Let's just cast it now. Good game. That was very close. Wow. 1 life. Oh my god. That was almost a disaster, though. If I hadn't top decked that... Well, I guess I top decked 2 cards that allowed me to win. MTG Bluey. It's got a little bit of control in Quench. I'm a little scared to shock in for Spectral Sailor, but I'm going to do it anyway. That could be a real problem for us if this is like Cavalcade. Okay, Fabled Passage means this isn't... First is probably not anything super aggressive. I mean, Fabled Passage can be good in some, like, I don't know what, 2-color, 3-color aggro? Maybe we should run Fabled Passage, actually. Nah. We run too few lands to ever get its trigger. I have a feeling that their deck is slow. So instead of holding up Quench, I'm going to play Mischievous Chimera. If Mischievous Chimera had Flash, oh my god, this deck would be crazy. What can they do with 2 blue? Bounce it, I guess? Callous Dismissal, unsummon? They thought about something there. I think I'm just going to play it a little slow here and play the actual tempo game and hold up Quench while it's still useful in the early game. I have a feeling they also were considering whether or not to hold up counter magic. So I'd rather play spells on their turn. Yeah, they could get some huge tempo out of that, so... Tempo? They should get some... yeah, anyway, yeah, that could help them to build a good board state, is what I mean to say. I actually don't know what tempo means. I just say it like I'm a good Magic player. Alright. I think this is a desperation draw for a land. I have another 2 mana, and I don't have another counterspell. So I could make them afraid of another counterspell and then play Brineborn Cutthroat, or play Lightning Stormkin. But basically, in terms of the damage I'm going to get in, it's almost the same. So yeah, let's just make them fear another counterspell and see if that makes them play slower, because we would love them playing slower, of course. What do you got? Another Brineborn Cutthroat? Damn it. Alright. Well, if they have a counter, let's make them counter us on their turn, so they don't get the counter. Or they could attack in and I could flash in Spectral Sailor, which would be hilarious, but they've got a counterspell, right? Well, if they do have a counterspell, then they would counter Spectral Sailor to prevent Brineborn Cutthroat from being killed, and I would rather have this countered than that. And I get the scry. I always forget about the scry. I kind of want another land here so I could play out both these or do one of these in that one. Our Brineborn Cutthroat doesn't do very much for us since we don't have any instant speed spells. That is hard to say no to, though. That is very hard to say no to, when that could be really significant against a Cutthroat here. Okay. So they would have done that to my Cutthroat if I had played it. If I play Shock, they counterspell it. Or I do this, let them counterspell it. They get a counter on Brineborn, and then I Shock it. Haha. Cool. Let's see if they have another unsummon. Nope. Alright. We've pretty successfully, you know, are winning on tempo now, but they have 4 cards in hand. Okay, they didn't have anything. Dang it, one blue really sucks here. I kind of want to keep playing it slow, even though it doesn't really help me to play Brineborn over Lightning Stormkin. Like, I'd rather just play Lightning Stormkin. Let's do it now while they don't have, like, a Brineborn Cutthroat on the board to get a counter if they counterspell this. And I do have 2 lands, so yeah, they can't use a Quench. I guess I did assist them in getting that Surveil, and they kept on top, which isn't good. If only that red were a blue, that would have been amazing. But I can't complain. There we go. Because I am doing quite well right now. Alright. Yeah. Okay, wow. That was tempo. We've seen aggro, now we've seen tempo.
As a human, I conquered. As a demon, I subjugate.
Whoa, that sounds like my ex-girlfriend. But also, I have never heard that voice line before. Do you only hear that voice line when you get the card? Like, do you not hear that when you cast him? Umbrage 83. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm thinking about this. This is amazing. I think I'd rather have the control than put... Yeah, I'd rather use Spectral Sailor to put a counter on Brineborn Cutthroat. So let's start with a mountain. Oh, why am I playing with the Theros lands? I should be playing with the... I mean, this art is pretty cool, but I like the mountains especially. All right. So they were deliberating whether or not to shock in for that. Okay, next turn we'll be able to hold up Ionize. I think our strategy is to flash in Brineborn Cutthroat. Unless they play some juicy target. Oh, if this gets countered though. See, the problem is I want to play Brineborn Cutthroat earlier so it gets the counters on it. Before I play something like Spectral Sailor, but I also don't want to play nothing. Yeah, I'm going to play it. It could be good to get counterspells out of their hand. If this is a counterspelly deck we're up against, then it's a bit of a problem because we only have 1 counterspell in our deck, or in our hand right now. So it'd be nice to draw into more. 4 lands is great though, so that we can use Spectral Sailor ability or Chemister's Insight. Okay. I just had straight up removal, so that was going to hit it later anyway. Brazen Borrower. That's pretty good. Okay. Now we have a lot of control. I don't know that... I kind of want to flash it in as a creature. Maybe I should just play Spectral Sailor, put a land down, and then that way on their turn, if they don't play anything worth countering, then we can draw a card. I'd rather them spend their removal and their counterspells on Spectral Sailor, obviously, than Brazen Borrower. Before we even know if they have something worth bouncing, I don't think this is a good idea to play this out yet. Let's be just super cautious. Do I even want to go in for one? What kind of deck do I think this is? I mean, they could have a creature with flash that has flying, but it's not very probable. Are you going to remove it now? No. Okay. We'll let them have that one card. Is this like a Phoenix deck or a Crackling Drake deck or both? Because they run a lot of cheap spells that they seem anxious to get through. Cheap draw spells was usually an indication of one of those decks, right? Please play something worth ionizing. Do you have a 4th land and want to play a Crackling Drake? Because that would be amazing. Alright, we'll draw. That's fine. I think we just keep playing it slow. We're going to flash in Spectral Sailor on their end step and hold up Ionize again. Because they're not playing anything, which makes me nervous. They don't have like the discard you might normally see for Phoenix. Like Radical Idea can discard, but I haven't seen like Thrill of Possibility yet. So it could be just Crackling Drake or some other weird spell payoff kind of deck. Alright. Here's another one. How much mana do you want to invest in removing my 1/1s? If I shocked in for Steam Vents, I could play Lightning Stormkin and still hold up Ionize. If they counter this, I don't know if I let them or... Okay, they didn't. Or if they try to shock Lightning Stormkin, do I Ionize it or do I hold up my mana for what's obviously going to be something like a Crackling Drake? Or a Rawl? It could be a Rawl in this kind of deck. So they're going to do this to replay Shock or Jaya's Greeting. Probably Jaya's Greeting so they can get the Scry. Oh, Niv Mizzet. Okay. With Niv Mizzet, I mean, they're literally one land away from being able to play a card like that, and they put it in the bin. So I'm not ionizing if they try to remove something. Which they will, because they have Jaya's Greeting. So they're going to kill my Lightning Stormkin. I'm going to let them. And try to resolve quickly so they don't smell a counter spell. They don't smell any stick from my counter magic. Hopefully. Because ionizing... Oh wait, can you not counter Niv Mizzet? Fuck me. Oh, that's important. It's probably not going to make a huge difference to what I should have done there, but... yikes. So I might need to save Brazen Borrower to bounce Niv Mizzet and force them to replay it, since I can't counter it. Another Ionize, Jesus. Alright, well, we're on the draw cards of Spectral Sailor on their turn if they don't play spells worth counterspelling. Train. That's a long name for a train, but that's the train we're on. This is going to be a slow-ass game. Holy shit. Is it 1 damage to any target? Yeah. Let's draw. You can use another shock again. Wow. They really don't like my Spectral Sailors. I mean, I am drawing cards off of it. Quick. Quench is not exactly what we want here. And a shock. I would have loved to have seen a Chemister's Insight. If we play out Brazen Borrower, I fear it's just going to get removed again. I think that they played Mission Briefing because they didn't have any other damage in hand. So I think they just drew Shock. And this might be a time to play out Brazen Borrower and get some damage in right now. Although, again, Brazen Borrower is one of the only ways that I have to deal with Niv Mizzet, so maybe I shouldn't play it. and just keep drawing cards. I think I'm gonna drop Quench. Or Shock. Let's drop Shock, actually. Quench... I mean, if they played, like, a Crackling Drake, then yeah. Well, no, not even then. Okay, I have so many Ionize that if they counterspell this or Shock it, I think I'm actually going to use it this time. Okay, I will Shock in, just so I can play 2 Ionize if I want. Alright, so how does the stack work? I'm thinking if they play Niv, and then I bounced Niv, they get the ping trigger, but I also get the +1/+1 trigger. I'm pretty sure, if I remember from my Magic schooling days, if Tolarian Tutor taught me well, I believe that his effect goes on the stack first, therefore mine resolves first. I would get the counter before he can ping me for 1. I'm pretty sure. There's the Crackling Drake. So we're definitely going to Ionize here. If they counterspell us, then we Quench them. And save the Ionizes for better targets. There's their Ionize. Here's our Ionize. Nice. That was a fun line of play. That was not a toxic nice, by the way. Wow. Okay. That was the big turn there. Alright, we got a lot of damage in thanks to that. So we do have lethal by flashing in Brazen Borrower. If it sticks, we have another Ionize to try to help it stick. And yeah, they did just use a counterspell, so we don't know what they have left. If this is Niv Mizzet, we could bounce it, play out Brazen Borrower. Okay, Rawl. I think I just Ionize it. Yeah, because then if they counter me, I Quench them. Wow, okay. So we drew pretty well here to play against like kind of a Izzet control-y matchup. Oh my goodness, wow, what a game. And that's the deck. Is it as good as Mono Blue? You decide. I mean, I don't know. I mean, play it, find out, obviously. That's quite a statement to say, is this as good as Mono Blue? The answer, of course, is going to be no, because that deck is amazing. But I think that this is a really cool, viable strategy for Tempo and Izzet right now. I just want to take a quick look at the sideboard. This is just what I think might work. I haven't actually played this in best of 3, but I just want to look at an example here. One of the cool things about the sideboard is that you could do, you know, just more Tempo cards that are Silver Bullet control, depending on your matchup. Or you could decide to go deep into one of the many sub-themes of the deck. You could decide to go deeper into Flash, you could have deeper into Flying, or deeper into Haste, and payoffs for those strategies too, which would be really interesting. So you could have a sideboard that's meant to just like suddenly turn this Tempo deck into an aggro deck, so that game 2 your opponent is totally off guard. But this is my idea if you wanted to keep it just kind of Tempo all around. 3 Lava Coil to hit bigger things and exile them if you need to. 2 Mu Yanling to be a big threat and start generating flyers every turn if they can't deal with it, which is quite nice. 3 Mystical Dispute for counterspell matchups. 3 Narset mostly for Esper control and Simic ramp, because obviously card draw is a thing that we need to control. 2 God Eternal Kefnet as another way that we can have, it's kind of like Mu Yanling. It's another just kind of like bigger threat that they either going to be hit by a lot if they don't deal with it, or yeah, so that's good. And then 2 Gadwick to, in certain matchups that might go long, to help us draw a few cards if we need it. I'm not sure that this is the ideal sideboard at all. I think that it could probably do with some additional form of aggro, which synergizes with the cards that are in the deck already, but I don't know exactly what that is yet. So if you have thoughts, please let me know. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next deck.